Hey guys, what's up? I'm here with a review of an independent horror film, independent supernatural horror film from 2014, and today's movie is It Follows. I'm actually going to a screening of this movie in about an hour, so I thought I'd just get the intro for the video out of the way first. So today's movie this is an independent horror film, and independent horror films usually are a lot better than the mainstream stuff. I mean, honestly, they are. They're a lot more inventive and original. And when I heard about this one, I mean, currently it holds a 7.6 average rating on IMDb, and it has an 83 out of 100 on Metacritic. That's very good. This movie's getting some really good reviews, although I've heard some mixed things about it from actual, people. I've still heard a lot of good things about it as well. So this movie involves a woman who is followed by some kind of unknown supernatural force after she's involved in some kind of sexual confrontation. Apparently this movie is about a kind of a supernatural STD, I guess. And it sounds really interesting, so I'm gonna go see it. Let's watch. So I just got back from the screening of It Follows. Okay, couple things. This review is going to be one of those ones where I just kind of dive in blindly and try to remember a lot of things about the movie, and I don't have anything written down or anything, so if I miss something, I apologize. So, the movie, I will say this, the movie is extremely creative. Not extremely creative, I mean, it's kind of your typical suburban teenager horror film, and there actually aren't a ton of those once I start thinking about it. I mean, a few suburban teenager movies I can think of, horror films off the top of my head that I can think of, are Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, and maybe Black Christmas, or actually no, Slumber Party Massacre, and most of those are slasher films. So this one's a supernatural film, and I've got to say, the idea behind it is actually really cool, and it's really innovative, and it would really work if it was like a horror comedy. Here it's a straight up horror film, and even though it doesn't work as well, and even though the execution of the film wasn't as good as I expected it to be, it was still a good film, and it's definitely above average. I can tell you this much. If you're planning on seeing either this or going to see The Lazarus Effect, see this, because It Follows is probably far superior to The Lazarus Effect. But we're not talking about The Lazarus Effect, we're talking about It Follows. The acting in this film is top-notch, really good acting from the entire cast. Not the best acting I've ever seen, but it's really good. The writing is also really good. The characters are not super complex, but they're likable and a little bit relatable. You know, they're just, your kind of average characters. They're about as deep as maybe a kiddie pool, maybe a little deeper than a kiddie pool, but at least they're not as deep as a piss puddle, so we got that. What there are of practical effects in the movie are good, but there are of CGI and effects like that, those are also pretty good. I don't have any really big gripes with the film. The only big gripe I have is that the film, I don't know, it kind of feels like the film wasted a bit of its potential, honestly. I mean, this movie could have been absolutely fantastic, and I'm not saying it wasn't fantastic, but it was really, really good, and that was definitely really above average, and it's an independent film, so even if I would have gone to the theater and saw this movie and it sucked, I could still say, well, at least I supported independent cinema, and that's something that I'm very, very big on, is independent cinema. I'm glad, I supported independent cinema, even though this film wasn't too great. Wasn't too, great or anything like that. The lighting in this movie is good, the camera work is good. There are some scenes where the camera work is like really, really awesome, and I honestly didn't expect the camera work to be really good like that in those scenes. So yeah, that really surprised me. The lighting in this film is also really good. I think I might have already said that. The music is probably one of the best parts of this film, other than the plot and a few of the really kind of creepy scenes. But the music in this movie is kind of like a combination of classic horror themes and like synth and or like techno kind of music. And I still really liked it. I mean, at times it was a little bit iffy, but for quite a few of the scenes, I still really liked the music. I just really, really liked it. And apparently the music in this film was also kind of inspired by David Lynch's Eraserhead, which I absolutely love Eraserhead. And there's actually a scene in the movie where they play the same like wind blowing sound that they play at the beginning of Eraserhead, which I thought that was a cool little like reference. There are scenes that are without music that are absolutely fantastic, or absolutely amazing. The thing that follows people, as many people refer to it, it's a pretty creepy, like I guess supernatural being. Really interesting, kind of like it's kind of like a shape-shifting ghost, if I were to explain it. It's like a shape-shifting ghost that can kind of teleport, but it can't just teleport right on you. It has to teleport like at least a short distance away to where it can reach you, like within walking distance. And one of the big complaints I often hear about this movie is that, oh, well, the thing's super slow, you could get away from it easily. Well, it is explained in the movie that you can drive away from this thing, sure, you could drive to another state, but that will only buy you at most maybe a day. And then it will be it will be within 50 feet of you within probably a day. So you really can't get away from this thing. And that's the really eerie part about it. There are jump scares in this movie, sadly. It's not the most atmospheric film, although there are some scenes that are really creepy. I honestly wasn't too scared by the movie. It's not like Babadook levels of atmospheric and creepy and original, but it's still a good little movie. It's kind of funny at times. And one of the big complaints I hear is like, oh, this movie absolutely sucks, it's horrible, why is this getting good reviews? And honestly, I can kind of see why people are saying that. I mean, the ending, it's open-ended, and I know from a lot of people that like a lot of mainstream fans of movies or horror fans that they don't like films with open endings or films where things aren't explained, because in this film it is not explained what it is, and that's why I like it, because you don't know what it is. For all you know, it couldn't be an STD, and it could just be some kind of shape-shifting demon. We don't know, we don't care. It's creepy though. Another big thing I hear people complaining about is that the music sucks. The music is a good acquired taste, I'll give it that much. Really, I mean, I hear people complaining, saying this is one of the worst horror films ever made, but I don't know. I still think it's really good, and it's definitely original and worth watching, worth your time at least. I think that's it. On the gore meter from 1 to 10, 1 being something like The Corpse Grinders, and 1 being something like Nosferatu, and 10 being something like Brain Dead. It Follows is probably about a 2 or 3. Really, there's no explicit violence in this movie, but there's like 1 or 2 scenes, and one of the like 2 or 3 scenes that I'm talking about happens in the beginning of the movie, and it's kind of shocking to say the least, because I'd heard about it and I didn't expect it to be this bad, and then I saw it and I was like, whoa, okay. Yeah, that's really it for this movie. I'd probably have to give it a 4 out of 5, 8 out of 10. It's definitely a pretty above average movie, and it's definitely worth watching. Just don't expect the Babadook from it. Don't expect anything, don't expect Citizen Kane is probably what I should say. Anyway guys, I'm BiscuitBooze69, and you guys know the rest. So anyway guys, if you liked the video, like my channel, be sure to like this video, favorite it, whatever you want, and maybe subscribe perhaps. I would really appreciate that. And check the links in the description below. There are links to things like my Tumblr, Twitter, all that, Facebook. All that is in the description below, as well as Rotten Cotton t-shirts, where I get my horror film t-shirts like this I Drink Your Blood t-shirt I'm wearing right now. This is available on their site for like 15 bucks. It's a pretty good deal if you buy like 6 or 7 shirts, and you get it. And if they're like under 20 bucks, you can buy them all together as a package, and you get it for like 70 bucks. And it's a really good deal. It's where I get my horror film t-shirts. And be sure to check out my friend Chloe, her cosplay and makeup tutorial channel. It is in the description. She always does something really interesting, really cool. And I guess that's it. I'm signing off. You guys have a good day, good night, good whatever. Peace.